Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dan, and this is developmentconsultingmastery.com. And in this video, we want to be talking about where to find international development consulting opportunities. In our previous video, we talked about what international development consulting is. We've talked about how to get your first consulting project in 30 days. And this video is a continuation of that second lesson that talks about how to get your first consulting project in 30 days. Because if you're going to get consulting projects, you got to find them in the first place. And so in today's video, in this lesson, we want to talk about where you can find international development consulting opportunities right now. It's a training where we're going to go into some of these areas live, so you see what we're talking about exactly. So in terms of consulting opportunities in international development, there are a number of sources, but the main ones are the ones I'm going to be sharing with you. So we've got Relief Web, we've got Devex, we've got UN Jobs, Impact Pool, and one place that many people don't think to check is the actual website of the different major international development organizations. And we're going to look at some of them quickly today. And then we'll look at your local job search marketplace. We'll look at a few nationwide job search marketplaces, um, and and then finally LinkedIn and Facebook groups. Now, in this session, we're just going to go through each of the sources. For each of these sources, be it Relief Web, be it Impact Pool, be it the website, there are techniques you can apply to find the job that's most specific to you, to get as much detail out of it as you can before beginning the process of application. This is especially important if you're going to be employing some of the strategies we've showed you earlier, where you want to reach out to people in an organization. You want to make sure that you have somebody inside. You want to make sure you have a champion inside the organization even before you apply. There are some specific strategies that you need to employ that we go in depth with in our premium training program. But for this video, we're just going to cover the basics, and then those of you who enroll in our premium training program, you get to go in depth into the different sources of international consulting opportunities. So quickly, let's see if we can find some opportunities together. So what we're going to do is to switch now to Google. All right, I had this open already, so I'm going to close this and start all over. So this is the screen, and the first list, the first name on our list is Relief Web. So we're going to come here and we'll type www.relief.int. That's the URL for Relief Web International. Uh, and let's see what happens. Oh, I blundered. It's reliefweb.int, not relief.int. RELIEFWEB.int. There we go. So reliefweb.int is the website. So Relief Web has a lot of information, and in our in our pro training program, in the premium training program, we will teach you exactly how to harness all these different pieces of information to get project. A lot of people, the first way to do it is to come for jobs, and that's good. But you can use information on disasters, you can use organizations, you can use updates to prepare you for upcoming jobs. And in another video, we'll give you one insight on that. But for today, we'll just look at the general scheme of things, and that is to find jobs. So when you click on jobs, currently you see there are 2,614 jobs open, all right, and 4,600 organizations. Now, if you're looking for a full-time consultancy, some of the full-time consultancies, whether they're 1 year or 2 year, they are listed under jobs, and shorter term ones are listed under consultancy. All right. So you can check both of them to find what you're looking for. But since consulting is our focus, we see here that there are 300 consulting opportunities open. So you want to click consulting, and that narrows down the list of jobs from 2,600 to the 200 that you that are consultancy opportunities. Now, within these consulting opportunities, there are ones that may be applicable to you further based on the country you want to work in. So, for example, I am based in Liberia currently, and I already see Liberia here as one of the countries where there are consultancies. And this one talks about bench book development expert criminal, bench book development expert civil. The funny thing is, I have no clue what the term bench book means. So I'm going to click on it to see what it's all about. And sometimes that's the case. Your profession, in my case, I'm a capacity development expert with focus on career and business development, career guidance and business development currently. Um, but sometimes different organizations will list projects differently, and so you have to read the summary at least to understand whether it's a project for you. So this talks about launching a legal professional development and anti-corruption program to improve justice sector, position summary, Supreme Court. I can begin to see that this is really a legal issue. It probably requires somebody with a law background. So I want to come down here and see what the responsibilities are. The expert in coordination with international expert and full legal inspector to review and analyze current Liberian bench book for magistrates in criminal matters. Obviously, this has to do with somebody who understands law and who knows how to do law drafting. There we go. Graduate degree in law on another field, 10 years experience in the justice profession. So obviously, this is not for me. But for somebody who is a lawyer, who has the experience, this will be a project that they could go after. So we want to come back here. And what we want to do to narrow this down further is to look at job locations. So let's say we're looking for projects in Liberia since this is where I'm based. We type Liberia. Liberia comes up. There are 7 projects currently in Liberia on Relief Web. Okay. Now I know what you're thinking. 7 in the whole country. But yeah, again, this is a professional place. So it's very focused, okay? And again, some of the consultancies will be placed on the job, so you also want to check on the jobs. So now you have the 7 focus. Now, as you can see here, you have director of operations, assistant director of operations, network director. These I can already tell you based on my experience that these are long-term consultancies, a minimum of 1 year. Okay, so they could also be considered as jobs, but they are also placed under consultancies. All right. So if you want to change your country from Liberia, and let's say we want to scroll, you can scroll down and see the countries that have a lot more opportunities. So we see Bangladesh, we see Colombia, um, we see Jordan. I see a country that were 14, Kenya. So you can decide where you want to go and make sure there are opportunities there for you. South Sudan is a hot spot. There are projects there, and obviously the USA, Venezuela. I will tell you this: if you don't live in the U.S., it's going to be difficult getting projects in the U.S. simply because of their restrictions on work permits and all of that. So you don't even want to bother. If you live outside the U.S. and you enter an organization, when the time comes for you to get a project there, they will assign you to that, and you wouldn't have to stress over it. Um, there are some positions here that are remote, so they don't. Basically, these are projects where you can be assigned to any country at any time. So you must be ready and willing to travel at a moment's notice. So if you see here, consulting firm, development of investment case for adoption, ethical recruitment practices and supplies in Thailand. This is something that my firm could go for simply because it involves case study development. Short-term human resource management, again, that's something that my firm could go for and will be looking at. International natural resource management consultant, call for expression of interest for consultancy to produce the State of Peace and Security in Africa report. This is a writing project and is for peace, somebody with an expertise in conflict management or peace building studies. So you see there are lots of projects here that are not listed under specific countries. Sometimes people are just lazy to find the right country to post it under, and so they'll just post it under the general roster. So you always want to come here to look for projects as well and see whether it's something that fits you. As you can see, I already identified 2 or 3 projects that are up my alley. This is another one, proposer and new business development consultant. So if I were looking for a project right now, I will click that as I have and see what it entails and if it's something that I want to be involved with. A team with deep operational of co-design solutions, obviously, human worthiness, experience with all the major NGOs, and how do you join? Available for short-term advisement, invited to apply, proposal development, talent community. And again, so you see, this is something that I could submit to if I had the time right now. This is right up my alley as a business development expert. So the key is to do, you can narrow down here, you can narrow down here. You could also narrow down by organization. What if you have a particular organization that you're looking for work within, you can also do that here, and that's it. So that's how you find projects. Once you find the project that suits you, then you employ the next step. Then the next step will involve finding the organization that has posted this and doing some research on that organization. So let's come back here. TOT, influencing program consultant. Aha, that's another thing. TOT is usually training of trainers. Let's see whether that's what it is here. TOT, we're trying to look for the keyword quickly. Exactly. Consultant is sub to develop the training of trainers curriculum on influencing. So this again is something that we can handle based on our expertise in business development and communications, copywriting. We can definitely pursue this project as well. All right. So once you find this project, you want to see where this is. Plan International Asia. That's the first key information that you need. And then you want to take notes. So you do not want to be going after multiple projects at the same time. Find the top 3 that are relevant to you. Maximum will be 5, but the top 3 that are relevant to you. Okay, because in this case, I will now say, all right, Flying Asia, looking for a consultant to develop a training of trainers program on influencing. And then you can now employ the other steps that talks about going on LinkedIn and finding somebody in this organization and connecting with them. And these are the things that we teach in the full program for you to understand. All right. You come in at this point. Once you've done this, you can come to LinkedIn here and you can say Plant International Asia, and I'll show you quickly how that works. So you can come here now in your search and say Plan International. And let's see whether we'll find Asia. I see Plan International Hispanic company. But then, all right, so we don't see an Asia pop up, maybe because a lot of people are not searching for it. Plan International. So we're going to type Asia and see what happens. So now we see a lot of results in my network. Andy Baker, he's the director for South Asia, China, and Indonesia at Plan International. And he's in my second degree, so that's not so difficult. And will teach you exactly how to leverage your second degree connections. Roland Anger, Regional Director, Asia, Child Fund. All right. He's currently Regional Director for East and Southern Africa and Plan International. He's had experience in Asia, so that could be somebody that we can leverage. Director for regional programs, Asia Pacific here. So there are so many persons within my network that I can reach out to. I only need to find the most relevant persons. Even there's somebody within my third degree network that I can message simply because this person and I are probably in the same group on social media. And we'll come back to LinkedIn and I'll show you the different groups. So again, we're not going to be teaching the LinkedIn strategy today, but this is where you can begin to find opportunities. So this is Relief Web. The next website we want to go to is Devex. All right, so we come here, and if you have a question on what we've just taught on Relief Web, you can just drop it in the group in the comments, and I will be able to respond to it in our general Facebook group. If you're not a member of the group already, the link to the Facebook group will be posted in this video, and you can just join us there and post in any questions that you have in the group. And then subsequently, if you decide to enroll in the full program, we'll have a separate group for full students as well. Okay, so the next website we want to go to is Devex, which is www.devex.com. Now, most of these sites, as I tap them, you see that they come up in my browser already because these are sites that I visit regularly. All right. And so here you see we want to come here to jobs. Now, with DevX, it's important to understand that many of the jobs are reserved for people who subscribe to the premium service, which is like $20 a month. I don't know whether my subscription is still active. I'm still subscribed to the careers. Yes, I need to update my billing information. So there's something called the Devex Careers. This allows all the jobs to open up to you. You can see individual research consultant, blah, blah, blah. So, but what you want to do is to come here and find a job. So you want to type in your keyword. So let's say you're looking for procurement related consultancy, procurement. You type in procurement here. And so here you see there are 4,300 jobs listed here, more than on Relief Web. Some of the jobs on Relief Web will be here, but many of the jobs here will not be on Relief Web. So procurement consultant, procurement specialist, procurement officer, procurement manager. So now you can also come in and say, all right, you know what? I'm looking for a short-term consultancy, or I'm looking for a mid-term level job. And I want that position to be a short-term contract. So you add these filters and let's see whether something pops up. We got 21 opportunities that pops up. This suggests that all these positions are for mid-level experience. You don't need to have that much experience. 5 to 9 years experience is good. And all of these positions are short-term consultancy contract. It doesn't matter what the name says, procurement operations officer, procurement officer. From what the filter here suggests, these are short-term contracts. So these are all short-term consultancies that you can begin applying for. Here, this is in Guinea, this is in Suriname, this is in Chad, this is in Cameroon, and you can see the closing date. So these are all active opportunities right now. Let's remove procurement and say policy, Policy, and search again. Mid-level policy didn't apply here, so let's say let's put private sector. Let's see if you want to work in the private sector support or something of that nature. No results found. Okay, so we'll move private sector, and we want to say policy expert, health policy, climate and biodiversity policy, social policy, national urban policy. So maybe we want to add um plus. Now, plus in conducting the research in information research, using plus is these are called Boolean operators, and they communicate to the search engine to say, okay, find me um, results that involve policy and governance. And so when the results come up, it will look for issues around policy and governance and return them if there are. So you see, Energy Governance Advisor, that's a policy role, Tony Blair Institute, Gender Program Specialist, Local Governance, Social Policy Specialist, okay. All right, so some of the same things that came out and they are in the governance related programs. Governance related work has to do mostly with supporting government and how the countries are led. Again, consultant asset management policies, climate vulnerability, education specialist, wow, this is a position that I know somebody for. I'll make sure to share with them. Okay. And so again, these are all options for you. This is just one of 8 pages. You can continue to check here. Now, if you did not have a careers account, all of this may not be opening to you. So you want to make sure if you look at my profile here, I signed up for a careers account. What I will tell you is when you just started out your services, and that's fine, don't force it. You don't have the money, you have the time. Utilize as many of the free resources as possible. LinkedIn, you can find free resources and everything like that. So if I come to my profile now, what I want to do is to check my billing to see. Okay, it's taking some time to open up here. All right, so I have a careers account and I paid $9.50 a month and I'm paid through December, so I need to definitely renew my payment this month before the 26th of this month, or else I'll be indebted to Devex. Okay, so if you're already working and you're looking to transition, then you need to make the investment because here it's only $9.50 a month. That's $120. You can pay that to give you access to opportunities that other people will not have access to because they're waiting to see these opportunities in newspapers before they can take advantage of them. There are other subscriptions you can have here, and we'll talk about those in the full program. For example, the funding. I have not done the funding. I've not reactivated my funding. I did that a while back. And what the funding does is it tells you which organizations have recently been funded and the projects are about to begin. You see, when these organizations get funded, what happens is some of the consultants that they applied with fall off the radar. So we see here a few seconds ago, firefighting vehicles in Turkey. Okay, this doesn't concern us. Provision of technical design engineering system for waste management. In your area, you could now follow up on it. Procurement of 4 units. Okay, these are all procurement. Consulting service for technical study of the construction of a tidal market in Mauritania. Again, these are all things that if you have the expertise in these areas, you can go and pursue them and then leverage your connection abilities, which we will teach you. So the session on LinkedIn and using LinkedIn for outreach and connections is so important, and I keep referencing it because in the full program, that's where we really go deep on this. All right, so you really want to join us in as a full subscriber so that you understand how you can leverage LinkedIn for your outreach activities, to understand how you can reach out to people on LinkedIn and help you get jobs. So the next one we want to look at is UN Jobs. In UN, that's unjobs.org. And UN Jobs is so vacancies with the UN and other international organizations. And here you can search based on the duty station, the organization, or the ones that are closing soon. Here is a mix of consultancies and full-time opportunities. When we go in our full program, we'll teach you certain words that you can look at. So, for example, obviously, this is clear. This is a consultancy. This is a consultancy. Um, Here might also be when you see expert, that might also be a consultancy. When you see specialist, that's more likely a job for more or consultancy for a year or more. Expert are sometimes more part-time, shorter term. Specialists are more long-term, full-time kind of deal. I don't know why these terms are used, but in my experience so far, that's what I've begun. These are some of the trends that I've noticed. So when you see specialist or you see expert, specialist is more long term or more full time kind of work. When you see consultant, that's more part time or more short term kind of work. Or when you see expert, the same more short term kind of work. So it's clear here. You can you can say, okay, I'm looking for work in these are the different cities, different duty stations. So you can just pick one. Let's see. Let's go back to Monrovia. Monrovia is M. So Monrovia will probably be down here, and Monrovia, Liberia. There are 60 opportunities here. How many of them are consultancies? How many of them are jobs? You have to click on them. Chief of Party, new youth activity. This was 2 days ago. Short-term technical consultancy in Liberia. Give direct project, warehouse assistant. Okay, so these are jobs. Business development specialist. It could be a job, it could be consultancy. Country director, it could be a full-time consultancy. Again, so that's just in Liberia. If you come to Accra, you can find something in Accra. You go to, you know, Jakarta, Mumbai. All these cities have projects that you can look into. Oh my word. There we go. Internet wanted to do something here. So this is it for UN jobs. The next one is Impact Pool. Impact Pool is not so popular, but I found that they also have sometimes they have some great opportunities there. So Impact Pool, let's see what comes up. So impactpool.org is another one of those websites that you can find projects on. And so there are different resources. They currently have 2,200 jobs, and you can just click on the job section here to be able to find what you're looking for. You may need to create an account and sign in. I don't think I have created an account, but here again, you can see some opportunities that may not have been shown in the other areas. Okay. Um, National consultant, national consultant, Indonesia. So yeah, I'm sorry. So again, that's impactful, and then we have the websites of major international organizations. What we're going to do is we'll stop on this one, and then in our next video, we'll look at LinkedIn and Facebook groups in terms of finding opportunities. So for the major international organizations, since I'm in Africa, we'll start with the African Development Bank, which is afdb.org. So again, you can come here, and while that is open, I'll also open, let's say, Save the Children. I don't even know what their website is, so I'll just type Save the Children, jobs, and we'll see what to find now. Okay, so this is the African Development Bank, and you can simply come here to careers, and here you have current vacancies, you have consultancies, you have short-term employment, you have internship, and a young professional program. So you click on consultants, and you begin to see there are currently 15 consultants opportunities available. whether individual consultant or consulting firm, training manual, blah 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 blah. Right? This is up our alley, and research consultant. And sometimes you can look for jobs, see what are their current vacancies as well. Um, Same thing here. Principal capacity development officer, senior capacity development officer. So if I were looking for a full-time job with the African Development Bank, I see some positions here that I could apply for. And so that's the African Development Bank. Save the Children, they're showing jobs in Accra right now. But you can come to savethechildren.net. That seems to be their main website, and you can find jobs available by country. So in Cambodia, they have two openings, in Jordan, two, Senegal, one, and Singapore, two, UK, nine, worldwide, three, and the list goes on. So it's really that simple. Now, for those of you in Liberia, and the same applies to other parts of the world, every country has a primary local job search portal. For some reason in Liberia, ours is the website of the presidency, and it's emention.gov.lr. I think coming from what the office of the presidency decided that they were going to help with the job search, and that was under President Sirleaf, and that has continued. And so you want to let's give it some time to load here. Okay, so once it loads, you come here, you see career opportunities, and you see vacancies. And there are numerous vacancies listed here: procurement notice, competitive bidding, construction, national consultant, accountant, office manager, construction consultant, um, trainee, request for proposal consultant, counter strategic information officer. All right, so you can also come here and find jobs if you're in Liberia. There are other jobs in jobs in Ghana, and for example, will give you some jobs that are specific to Ghana. So Google is already helping us. African Development Bank jobs. You have um, Ericsson also has some jobs available here. Deloitte Ghana Energy has some jobs available. So you can just click in jobs in Ghana. There are also some other websites with job information. And the same for Nigeria and whatever country you are in, there are specific jobs. If you want to know the major job site for your country, just drop that request in the Facebook group, and we'll be able to help you out to find the number one or the top two job sites in your country. All right. So, we didn't cover the World Bank, but again, the World Bank is the same, similar process. So, World Bank, World, oh man, World Bank .org, and let's see what we can find with worldbank.org. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're taking notes here, because you want to definitely come back to this video and watch it again, because I've run through these things quickly, and because I've been doing this for the last 13 years, so it's a part of me. If you're just starting out, much of this will be new for you, so you want to take your time and take notes. So here now it says work with us. You can come here. Once you highlight this, you come down here for job seekers, you click jobs. um, Here is a very important area for those who run their own NGOs or their own consulting firms. If you in that space, we'll teach you more about that in subsequent trainings in our premium program. So you can come here now to current openings, and under current openings, they're likely to have jobs and consultancies. And so you will be able to, there we go. Consultant, 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 consultant. Numerous consultancies with deadlines. Some of the deadlines are tomorrow, some are a few days away in different fields, environment, research, health and nutrition, finance. All right. This is just page one. There are 90 different opportunities right now with the World Bank. All right. Those of you in Liberia, let me stress this. Time and again that I've heard that Liberia is one of the least represented countries at the international level. Now, what this means is you need to understand that for all the international organizations, they have a quota for each member country. So each member country needs to be represented by a certain number of employees. For some reason, Liberia is often the least represented country. You know, I went to the African Union a few years ago, and it hurt me that I traveled I think there are 17 or 18 floors on that building, and I visited a number of offices, and I did not find one single Liberian there, and that bothered me, because it seems like Liberians don't reach out, whether it's the fact that we don't know, and that's some of the reasons why I'm doing these videos now, so you can find these opportunities and learn to network with other people. Uh, I talk to folks at the African Development Bank, the same story. Talk to folks at the World Bank, the same story. And Liberia has been a founding member of all these organizations, and yet we're one of the least represented in terms of employment. And this should be able to change, and we hope that these videos will help change some of this situation. All right. So you can see the amount of opportunities with the World Bank here. They're just numerous. They're numerous. They're numerous. And you can just take your time and go through them. All right. So in our next video, we will look at opportunities from LinkedIn and Facebook groups. But for today, for this video, we want to stop here, and we want to encourage you to come back and play these videos. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my channel, so that when the next video is posted, you will be in the know, and you will be able to take advantage of it. And if you need some support, just reach out in the group. If you want to know how you can join the premium program that will be launched very soon, so join us in the Facebook group. And when the launching information comes out in a few days, it will also be posted here for you to take advantage of. All right. So until I catch you next time. Oh man, what have I been doing? Until I catch you next time, this is Dan Maxwell Jr., and peace out.